Greetings everyone, Shane here at the Brick House, back again with another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the LEGO Ideas Jazz Quartet. This is an 18 plus set with 1606 pieces. It's designed for those 18 and older, but as is usually the case, younger people would have no trouble putting this together. The total time to put this set together was about an hour and a half, and it was a super fun, super straightforward build. I really enjoyed putting this set together. So let's get started. Unlike most LEGO sets, this set comes with not one, but 4 individual instruction booklets. So each of the 4 musicians get their own instruction booklet, and as I said, it is an 18 plus set, but it actually encourages you to build this with family members, because since each of the figurines have their own instruction booklet, multiple family members can build at the same time. So I had my 2 sons each build a musician. One built the drummer, one built the pianist, and I built the bassist and the trumpeter. Now the first person you build is the trumpeter, and you start out with this bass, and then there's a little indent for his foot to go in, and this kind of secures him in place. And as you can see, he is secured in by only 1 foot because the rest of his body is in this arched back pose for playing his trumpet. And there are clips under here that the torso clips into. There are a lot of clips and a lot of ball joints in this set. The trumpeter's face is a mix of a 1x2 plate with tile and a cheese wedge for a nose. So as you see, the ears are a little lower down on his face. The cheese wedge makes the nose, and the jumper plate actually makes it look like his lips are about to blow a horn, which is a really nice technique. One thing I really love on all of these sets is the way the designer created the hair. If you notice, he has kind of this slick combed over hair here. You'll notice that each of the musicians have a really cool and unique hairstyle, and one of them is even wearing a hat. I even like the way that this moves to the side, because he's a jazz musician, so he's a little bit loose and carefree. As I said, this set was one of the easiest sets I've ever put together. You begin first by building this trumpeter, and then you build the bassist. Once again, you build this bass, and this one, he has a place where both his feet are anchored to the bass, and there's also a ball joint, as you can see, for the bass to rest securely. The double bass uses some snot building techniques to create the curves, and this is the one time where on this side of the bass you put together, you build the exact same thing on this side. The bow tie on this bassist is actually a joystick, as you can see, so that's a clever use of the joystick. He again has a cheese wedge nose, and he actually has cheese wedges forming kind of his jawline. And once again, he has the pompadour coming up with his hair, which is a really unique look to him. I really like what LEGO did with the faces. If you would have had a realistic face, it might have looked a little creepy. And these cheese wedges and jumper plates actually create kind of a caricature of a jazz musician. They're a little bit ambiguous, and I really like that they did that. As you can see also, this has the reddish brown, and this has the nougat, so there's obviously some diversity into this jazz band. Another feature of the trumpeter and the bassist is that they're interchangeable. So you can swap a few of these pins, and then the trumpeter could go in the back, and the bassist could go where the trumpeter is. And it's my opinion that it's not really the musicians that are the star of this set, it's really the instruments, because the level of detail is just so incredible. And you'll see he has a ball joint for his neck and his head to tilt his head back, and over here you'll see the gray ball joints for his neck and his arms as well. Now I've seen a few people complain about the color of this and using ball joints, and it does look a little mechanical and a little bit robotic, but I'm not sure what other pieces they could have used to really make this articulation work, because as you can see, all of these musicians have some type of articulation, and that's part of the allure of this set. And then the drummer takes center stage, and the most complex part of this was the bass drum. Inside here are a lot of complex parts used to create this really nice looking bass kick drum. And you can see this is a printed piece. I guess the band is called the Sevens, or the LEGO Sevens. I didn't see any stickers in this set, which is always great to see. There is also a snare drum, tom-toms, and this is called a floor tom. So they have 3 toms with a crash cymbal, a ride cymbal, and they even has a pedal here and his stool. So putting this drum kit together was really great. As you notice, this bass piece is much bigger than the other bass piece. The piano and the drummer get a much larger stage. So the set came with 11 bags and 2 bass plates. The 2 bass plates are used for the pianist and the drummer. I think the trumpeter and the bassist each had 2 bags. I think the drummer had the most with 4 bags. But as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, it is the instruments that really take center stage in this set because they just look fantastic. As you can see for the drummer, his bow tie is actually 2 half circles, and you see he has a really cool beard. His nose is a little different than the other 2, and he has this really cool hat. There is minimal movement. The way these figures are articulated is really the position they should be in. You can move them a little bit, but I don't recommend you move them too much. You can even see his shoes. He has the cool black and white patent leather shoes. This is also the hood of a vehicle, which is his back, as you can see. So a nice use and mix of unique, interesting pieces for this set. So this is the drummer. He looks absolutely cool and fantastic. And then this, as I said, can then slide into here with the pins if you want to start building. And then the final musician is the pianist. And as you can see, you build another large bass for her, and there is a bass plate underneath. And the real star of this one is obviously the piano. If you look, you'll see that these are all printed pieces. There is a foot pedal, and then inside the piano, it's a lot of really great detail, including these 1x2 round plates with bars. There's 31 of them that create the hammer keys here, and you can see it's actually a lot of detail in this tiny little piano, and the curves of it look absolutely incredible. And then you can secure it here, and there's also a piano bench, and then this pianist. Now this pianist is not from the original ideas submission. The original one was a male. Lego turned it into a female, I think for some diversity. You see she has some gold rings for earrings. She has hearts that become her headband. She doesn't even actually have a face, and as I said, this is more of that caricature of a musician. And because of the way she's sitting, this hand touches the piano, but it's impossible for this one to touch the piano, so she can never have both hands on the keys. Now, I know there are some people who are upset that the 4 musicians don't have the detail that the original ideas designer created, and that one of the characters has been changed completely. I've now, as you can see from my shelf, put together a lot of mocks. I mean, in this past year, I probably put together 15, 20 mocks from some of the best creators out there. And all mock creators seem to, because it's a one-off, they build with this incredible detail to suit the vision in their minds. But the stability of those models are really not very good. Every mock I have on a shelf or on a display somewhere has several flaws that if you shake it or move it too aggressively, many pieces will fall off and fall apart. And when Lego designs sets for the masses, their designers have to make sure that it's functional, it looks as close to the original as possible, and that it's incredibly sturdy. You can look at the original treehouse design for ideas and see what Lego produced, and it's very different. It's still a fantastic set, but it's very different from the original ideas submission. And this one is a slight departure from that as well. So I understand Lego's need to make it stable, and you can't always get the detail that the original artist wanted. The one thing I don't understand is this stage is kind of the beige or the tan bricks, and I'm not sure why they changed it because the original submission had brown stage, a wooden stage, and the brown wooden stage looked so much better. I really love this set. I think it makes a great display piece. I'm actually building a music room in my house that should be ready in a couple of months, and this will definitely be a part of that room. This set is not for everyone. It's a niche set. If you're into music, and especially if you're into jazz, you're going to love this set. You're going to love putting it together. As I said, it was one of the easiest sets I put together. I think we did it in less than an hour. It is the least repetitive set I've ever had, barring the bass on either side. That was the only repetitive piece. The instruments clearly steal the show, except maybe for the trumpet. That might be the weakest of the instruments. But the drum, the bass, and the piano look absolutely fantastic. And the caricatures of the musicians look really great. I think in the original designer set, it was more of a classic quartet of finely polished musicians. And I think Lego took it and turned it more into kind of a looser, kind of smoky lounge jazz quartet. So they made it a little more earthy and a little less refined, but I think it's fantastic nonetheless. From a collectability standpoint, I think since it appeals to a very niche audience, it's not going to be a huge collector's item. It will grow modestly in value upon retirement, but overall it was a great build. And for $99, seeing that a lot of Lego sets are going up in price, this at $99 and 1,600 pieces is about 6 cents per piece. This actually represents a really incredible value. That's my video for this week. I know I've been away for a couple of weeks. That's because I went on a family vacation. I toured the western part of the United States for about 10 days. I actually created a travel blog. I'm going to leave a link to that travel blog so you can see our adventures. My family and I are going to start going on a lot more adventures, and we're going to document them. I am still doing Lego, of course, because I love it. Next video I will do will be on August 1st when the Camaro comes out. I'm going to buy that and review that. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.